Hello, I am Vishal Parikh. Today we will explore more on data wrangling. So what we are going to cover today is, we will cover three different topics today in our sessions. So the first we are going to cover is how we can define normality. Second we will see is how we can count our particular categorical data, and we will understand what frequencies are. So first let us start with defining the measures for normality. Now we have seen different approaches and different measures. So today we will cover, that is the last measures, how a numeric variables can be used. So for this we have a structured as skewness and kurtosis. So first let us understand what skewness is. So what is a skewness? So skewness defines asymmetricity of a data with respect to its mean value. Now skewness can either be positively skewed or it can be negatively skewed. So first we will see what is positive skewed. So whenever we are having different distributions, so a particular distribution is said to be a positively skewed with the degree of skewness which is greater than 0, and when the tail of its distribution will have a high values, and for a negative skewness it's vice versa. The second thing we are going to see is kurtosis. Now in kurtosis what we see, how our data is distributed with respect to its right shape. That means we consider the peakness and the tail of that particular data. Now again kurtosis can have two different values. That means its value if it is above 0 or it is below 0. Now what if the kurtosis value is above 0? That means our distribution is marked as peak. And if the value of kurtosis is below 0, that means our data distribution is too much fatty. Now as we know, we have seen what is a Gaussian distribution and what is a normal distribution. So Gaussian distribution or normal distribution, both are the same. Now they are the most useful distribution in statistics. That means they are very much useful when we consider a data science approach. Let me give you an example. So we have seen what a linear regression is. So this Gaussian distribution, or we can say normal distribution, plays a vital role in the foundation of statistical models. Now in Gaussian distribution, or we can say in normal distributions, we have mean and medians. Now if the values of mean and medians are having the same values, what does it mean? So if their values are same, it means our data is symmetrically distributed around its mean value. Now what does this mean? The values are symmetrically distributed around the mean. What does it mean? It means that our data is of a bell-shaped curve. It means our data is of bell-shaped curve. So whenever we want to perform skewness or kurtosis test, we need to determine the value of P. Now whenever this value of P is less than 0.05 or it is equal to 0.05, then we normally reject its normality. That means your variable is distributed as a Gaussian distribution. Now what does this mean? It implies that if we want to have a better result, we have to transform our variables into normal ones. So that means we need to transfer our data if our value is less than 0.05 or it is equal to 0.05. Now in order to understand this normality, how we can calculate the categorical data and how we can see what frequencies is, so we will have a detailed program related to this normality, how we can calculate the categorical data and how we can work with frequencies. Now let us work programmatically and check how we can measure the normality. So first, whenever we want to measure the normality, we have to import libraries. So first we need to have a data set on which we want to perform the normality. So let us consider a data set which is named as iris data set. Now this iris data set is present inside a module which is named as data set, and This data set is again present inside a module which is known as sklearn. Sklearn means scikit-learn. So this scikit-learn model provides different data set, and from this data set I want to load my iris data set. So what I have written, from sklearn.dataset import, that is load underscore iris. Now whenever I want to load my data set, I have to invoke a function which is named as load underscore iris, because I want to load this particular data set, that is iris data set, and I am storing it inside a variable which is named as iris. So let us run this. Now after importing and loading our iris dataset, what I want to do? So first I am importing a library which is named as pandas. Then I am importing NumPy. I am loading my iris dataset. Now what I am doing? I am creating an array. That is of iris dataset. So how can I create an array? So for this, as we are having iris object, now there is an attribute which is named as data. So iris.data, what it will do? It will create your array, that is iris underscore np array. Now why I need this array? Because I want to extract different columns and different data from this particular iris dataset. Now what I am doing? I am creating a data frame. So how can we create a data frame? So for that we are having a method which is named as data frame. Now this data frame method is again present inside this pandas library. So I have to use its reference, that is pd.dataframe. Now inside this, the first parameter that I have to pass is my iris.data, or you can directly pass this variable, that is iris underscore np array. But I am using here, that is iris.data. The second attribute that we need to specify is columns. Why columns? Because we want to display the list of columns. Now how can I get the column names? So for that again there is an attribute of iris object, that is feature underscore names. So what it will do? It will extract all the features columns that are present in your dataset, and it will be treated as your columns. Now what I am doing? I am creating a new column inside your data frame which is named as group. So how can I extract that data? So for that I am using another thing that is known as series. So how can we work with series? So again there is a method which is named as series, and this is present inside our pandas libraries, that is pd.series. Now what I am doing? I am extracting each and everything that is present inside this iris target, and I am storing it inside this particular column, that is group. Now as we know, there can be multiple data present inside this column which is named as target. So for that what I need to do? I have to execute a loop. So I am using for loop, that is for k in iris.target. So what it will do? It will take one by one element from this target. It will store in this variable which is named as k, and this k name will be now appended to this target underscore names. And finally this target underscore name, it will create a series, and this series will be get appended in the group data frame. Now I am specifying which type of data type it is having. So it is having a data type of type category. So let us run and check this. So it might take some time. So what we need to do now? As it has completed loading of this particular iris data frame, now if we want to print this data frame, so for that we need to directly write, that is iris underscore data frame, just we need to directly print it. So let's try that. What I need to write here is print, and inside this I am writing is iris underscore data frame. So let's run this. So now you can see here is our new column that has got added, that is group, and you can see here this is our entire iris data frame. So now what we want to do, now we want to measure the normality. So for that what we have to do, we have to check two things, that is we have to perform skewness and we have to also perform the kurtosis. So what we need to remember, so whenever we want to perform skewness and kurtosis test, the value of P should be less than or equal to 0.05. If it is so, then we have to reject the normality. Why? Because your variable is distributed as a Gaussian distribution, and it implies that you can obtain better result if we transform this variable into normal variable. So now let us perform skewness. So what I am doing, so first I need to import skewness. So for that again I have to use a library that is present inside Python, that is SciPy. Inside this SciPy we are having a sub module which is known as states. Now this skewness and kurtosis are related to statistics, so I have to import that is stats, and from this stats module I need two things, that is skew, and I want to perform skewness test, that is skew test. Now if you observe here carefully, our data frame is containing these different types of features, that is sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now here I am considering petal length, which is in centimeter. That means I am extracting this particular column and I am storing it inside a variable which is named as variable. Now what I want to do, I want to perform skew. That means I want to perform skewness. So for that we are having a method which is named as skew, and inside this you have to pass your data, which column you want to perform. So here we have stored it inside a variable that is named as variable, and I have passed that inside a skew method. So what it will do, it will perform skewness and it will store inside a variable which is named as s. Now what we want to do, we want to perform skew test. Now this skew test method returns two things. So first it will return you z score, or you can say it is a z score, and the second thing it will return you is p value. Now for skew test again you have to pass your data frame column. So we have using is petal length and I have stored it inside a variable which is named as variable. So for skew test again I am passing this my variable. Now simply what I am doing, I am printing my skewness. Now if you observe here, that is 0.0, that means what I have written here, that is 0.3f. That means after decimal I want 3 floating point values. So now you can see over here, that means what it is showing you, the skewness, it is showing you the value of skewness, that is 0.272. It is showing you z-score, that is minus 1.400, and it is showing you the value of p as 0.162. What I have said, if the value of p is less than or equal to 0.5, then we have to discard it, but it is less than that. So what we have to do, we have to discard this and we need to transform it into a normal variable. Now let us similarly perform kurtosis. So how can we perform kurtosis? So again for that we have to use a library which is named as SciPy, because this SciPy library again provides us the important functions, that is for skewness and kurtosis test. Now this state models also includes two different approaches, that is for kurtosis and for kurtosis test. Now again for performing kurtosis I am using the same data frame column, that is petal length, and I am storing it in this variable which is named as variable. Now again whenever we want to perform kurtosis, we have to use a method which is named as kurtosis, and we need to pass our variable. So this kurtosis will be stored inside a variable which is named as k. Now what we want to do, we want to perform kurtosis test. So again for that we are having a method which is named as kurtosis test, and inside this we need to pass our variable. Now again, this kurtosis test method will return you two different things. So first it will return you z-score and second it will return you p-value. So right now we will be considering only the p-values. So if you observe over here, the p-value is 0.000. What does it mean? That means your data is not in a proper format. That means we need to transform it into our normal distribution. So if you observe this test result and if you recall your skewness, this data is slightly left skewed. Then what is the real problem with this? So the real problem is the curve will be too much flattened to be a bell shape. This curve will be too much fat to be a bell-shaped curve. So for that, what we need to do? So further we need to investigate these two parameters and we need to rectify it accordingly. Now what we will see? We will see how we can count a particular categorical variable. So for category variable, again I am considering the iris data set. Now this iris data set is again containing 4 matrix variable and a quantitative target outcome. Now whenever we are dealing with this, means and variance are used as a descriptive measures for matrix variable. That means whenever we are having this matrix variable, we are dealing with mean and variance, and whenever we are having qualitative variables, so for that we need to deal with frequencies. So let us count the categorical data. So for that, again we are having two different functions available. So first function is cut and the second function is qcut. Now what is the difference between these two functions? So the first function, which is named as cut, so what it will do? It will be basically used to cut an integer number. So whenever we want to cut an integer number or a group of integer numbers which are of equal being, so at that particular time we have to use cut method and the second method is qcut. So what we need to pass when we are using qcut? So we need to pass the percentiles, that means in the form of percentage. So let us work with qcut functions. So first what we have to do, we have to load our iris data set. So here I am loading my iris data set, that is from sklearn.dataset import load_iris. So let us run this. So what it will display? It will display you what are the feature names and what are the particular values associated. So these are your feature names, that is sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now let us try to calculate this particular categorical data. Now this data set, if you observe here carefully, it is made up of 4 matrix variable. Now these are your 4 matrix variable. That is sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now what we need to do? We must divide it into an equal beam according to our specific intervals. So for that, what we need to do? We have to specify using 2 different approaches. That means the pandas provides 2 different functions with the help of which we can transform our metric variable into a qualitative variable. So we will consider in this example the function which is named as qcut. So how can we do? So as we know, this qcut function expects percentiles. So first I have created a list of percentiles. So I am storing it inside a variable which is pcts, and I have specified over here the values, that is 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75 and 1. Now what I am doing? I am concatenating different data frames with the help of qcut function. And I am storing it inside a variable, that is iris_bin. So how we can extract? So if you recall your ilog function. So what was ilog function? It was integer based extraction. So inside this we need to specify rows and columns. So first parameter is row, that means I am considering all the rows, and the second parameter I have specified 0, that means I am considering the first column. The second parameter I have passed is percentiles, and the third is precision equal to 1. That means after floating point, how many floating point values you are needing. So here I have specified for all the particular columns that are present inside my data set, and I have applied join equal to outer, and I have specified the axis value as 1. So let us run this. So here you can see what it has done. It has divided your data into beans. So this is your bean. So for each and every row we have calculated the bean value, that is based on this percentiles. So now you can count this particular categorical data. Now next we will try to understand is what are the frequencies. So let us work with frequencies. So whenever we want to work with frequencies, the first thing we need to have is our qualitative data. So for that I am considering again iris data set, and we can obtain these frequencies of each and every categorical variable of a particular data set. Why? For predicting variable of a particular outcome. So first again what I am doing is loading my iris data frame. So let us run this. So here you can see is your iris data frame. I have taken the reference of previous iris data frame only. So now whenever you want to calculate the frequencies, for example, if I want to calculate the frequencies of this feature which is named as group. So how can I do that? So for that we have to use our data frame, that is iris underscore data frame. Then we have to specify our column name, that is group. And then we have to use a function which is named as count underscore. Then we have to use a function which is named as value underscore counts. So let us run this. So what it will give you? It will give you the frequencies of occurring of this particular values. So here you can see over here that first it is showing you of setosa, then it is showing you versicolor, and then it is showing this particular variable and its values. So this particular variable's associated value is of type integer 64. Now what I want to do? Again I want to count for each and every column that is associated with this. So let us run this. So now what it has done? So we have counted our categorical data. So here you can see is our categorical data. Now I want to calculate the frequencies of that particular thing. So how can I do this? So for that the code of previous categorical data remains the same. Just what we need to do, we need to specify the column on which you want to perform, that is petal length, and the function will be used is value underscore counts. So it will give you the frequencies of this particular beans. Now the last thing we need to see is what is the use of this describe function. So let us first run this. So now if you observe over here, it is showing you four different things. It is showing you count, it is showing you unique, top, and as well as it is showing you frequencies. So what is the use of this describe function? So describe function will give you each and every detail of your particular data set, and in particular a particular column you want to work. So it will give you the count, that means the total number of rows that are present. It will give you unique things that are present inside this particular thing. It will give you the top value, and it will also give you the frequency of that particular column. So what we have seen in this session is how we can measure the normality, how we can count a particular categorical data, and how we can use the concept of frequency. Thank you.